You have a choice to make today. You are going to be able to do anything you want to do, but you can't do everything. What are you doing? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do today, tomorrow, the next day? What are you going to do for yourself, for your loved ones? What are you going to do? If you only had one day, what would you do? You only have one life. So what are you going to do with it? I wanted to make this video to quickly go over the thing that is, we only have one life. We only have one shot. You only have one opportunity. And yes, that's Eminem, I'm pretty sure. You only have one opportunity, one chance, one life, one shot at doing what it is you want to do. And at the game of life. So, what are you going to do with it? That is the question everybody needs to answer for themselves. And the answer might vary. The answer might change over the course of the next few years, the next few decades of your life. I personally am 23 years old, but I do feel much older than most of the people around me. I cannot lie. All of the people that are around my age are just doing the same old, just stuck in their ways, not doing anything really truly valuable, kind of selfishly moving around, doing kind of X, Y, and Z, they're not really like extremely driven by purpose in a set direction for their own lives. They haven't chosen to become the main character of their story like I have. And so what I wanted to talk about today is to push you guys to become the main characters of your own lives. Because most of the time, if you don't feel like the main character, then you're doing something wrong. And sure, in a story, there are events, there are moments where everything feels boring, everything feels annoying, everything feels like it's a chore. But that's just part of the journey. What you need to understand is that if you're not taking moves and making moves like in a game of chess, as if you were the king, playing his cards correctly, playing his pieces on the chessboard as best he can to win the game, then you're not really doing anything. You're either doing everything or you're doing nothing. You're either doing something or you're just cruising along, just coursing through life, not really asking any questions, not really answering any questions, not really pushing forward towards a goal of yours that you want to achieve. It could be anything. It could be related to yourself, it could be related to your family, it could be related to creating a family for yourself in the future, it could be obtaining a few certain things that you actually want to have, it could be obtaining a few certain relationships that you want to obtain. It could be a very big amount of different things, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's kind of like I remember I'm pretty sure most sandbox games have this one-liner, and they say this all the time, like the story of this world, it's up to you. And that's the same for ours. It's the same for our real world today. The story is up to you. You decide. You get to decide which character you're going to be today, which character you're going to be within the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, until you die. You get to decide what character you are, and what character you want to play, and what character you want to embody, and what character you want to be remembered as. I would hate to be remembered as the person who didn't do anything, just forgotten, like after maybe barely even a year after I was gone. I would hate to be forgotten for something that I didn't really make a difference. I would love, and that's kind of my purpose. That's kind of why I've decided to make a difference, is to become the kind of person that actually can put themselves forward and put themselves on the line and take some risks and become that guy in your family tree that is taking more risks than literally everybody else. I'm not doing what everybody else is doing because I've decided to take some risks for myself, because I understand that without risks you cannot achieve anything great. All of the great people in the past that have been recorded in history have all taken massive risks to become the people they were. And you have to do the same thing today. You have to be willing to take some risks and to make some moves that might actually cost you something, might actually you might actually need to sacrifice a few things to actually achieve that. You might need to make some hard decisions. You might need to become the kind of person that you cannot recognize that you were, like that the previous you, like let's say the you of today, would not recognize the person you are like in 10 years or in 4 years, 5 years, whatever, how many years you want to count. If your past you cannot recognize your current you, that would be, I would say, a really good place to start. Now, you can go in two different extremes. Of course, you can go to the bottom of the pit, or you can go upwards to heaven. That is entirely up to you. I do recommend you go upwards. I don't recommend going down to the pit, you know. I don't think anybody can find any value in that at all. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you. So, we only have one shot. And if we only have one shot, why not make it the best we can? Why not make it the best for our future generations to come? For the kids we have, for their kids, and their kids again. Why don't we just make the world a better place? Like, that's one of the most valuable things someone can do, is to make the world and make your environment a better place for the future generations to come, so that they are educated in the way that helps them push forward just a bit more, and just not make the same mistakes you made, but instead learn from your mistakes faster than you learned from your mistakes, and push past your limits so that they can be better than you. I think the most common thought of every father is they want their sons to be better than they were, and they want their sons to be someone they can be proud of, and they can say, hey, this is my son, this is my bloodline, I'm proud of him because he managed to do X, Y, and Z. He managed to take some risks and actually do something for himself, and his name will be remembered far longer than mine. That's what truly sets people apart, when you actually start thinking like that. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not at a place where I would say I've done such a massive difference in my life. Like, sure, I've changed a lot, I've upgraded my character, and I've progressed a lot, but I'm nowhere near a place where I would want to be, and a place where I feel like people are going to remember me for having done something great. And that is what keeps me going forward at the end of the day. Like, there are people that just course through the world and don't really question anything, don't really work on anything, and they just do this and they do that and they do this because the only thing they can see in front of them are like their immediate feelings. And until you can get to your like a mental place where you can be like, put those feelings aside, understand them, and then use them as best you can, like a tool. Like that way you can actually move and go to the places you actually want to go to. Until you can do that, you will always be stuck at the current place you are. If you're always just like, oh, I feel a bit tired, I'm just gonna play a bit of video games, or oh, I feel a bit like shit, so I'm just gonna watch a movie, or oh, I feel a bit like eating junk food right now, so I'm just gonna eat like shit. It's like, if you understand your feelings before acting upon those cravings, if you control your impulses, you're gonna be able to dominate and to outpace 99% of people, because everybody's just, they see like maybe like a couple feet in front of them, because that's their immediate feelings, that's what they're going to take action on. But if you can, because we humans have this ability, I listened to one of my mentors talk about this recently. Humans have this ability to look at the future and look at the entire timeline and decide what it is we want to do and what it is we want to work on a timeline that is not necessarily like a couple minutes in the future. Like, let's say a deer sees immediately what's in front of them, and their physiologically, their body, basically how everything is constructed, their brain and how it thinks. The animal of the deer itself, thinks a couple seconds into the future and is completely different to the human, because it doesn't need to think more on a longer term than that to survive. So it just goes anywhere and everywhere, and there's just the grass to eat, you know what I mean? And so what ends up happening is, us humans, we have evolved in a way so that we can actually look at the entire timeline from X, Y, and Z date. Like, instead of like seeing what's in front of us, we can see the whole timeline, and we can be like, okay, I can plan ahead like months and like days, months, years, decades into the future by planning accordingly. And so this is like a superhuman ability that we have that allows us to not only build something over the course of years, but develop ourselves into people that actually matter, that actually are remembered in society for having done something great. Like, I've noticed that there are actually two kinds of people. There are the people that course through the world and it acts upon their feelings and act upon their own like self-interest and like right now, like oh, I feel this way, so I'm gonna do this. And there are the people that actually look at the entire timeline and actually think, okay, what do I want to do? How can I get it done? And how much time is that going to take? And then take action on that, and over the course of years start building something for themselves with an actual like guiding light for themselves that they've designed artificially in the future, that they're basically marching towards. That is like the two different types of humans that I've noticed are a part of today's society. Like, really, realistically, there's no real in between. There's either the people that actually get stuff done, and there are the people who actually just course through the world. Like, another example I could give you guys would be, there are the people that make you work for their dream, and there are the people who work for their dream. Like, those are the two different types of people I've noticed in today's society that exist on a day-to-day basis. And I personally would like to think that I'm working on my dream. I'm not really working on anybody else's dream. So personally, I have a dream of becoming the kind of guy that is extremely valuable and extremely rare and extremely necessary to the people around me. I want to be able to be the guy who provides, who protects, who benefits the people around him with enough value that they cannot get rid of him anymore because they need him at all costs. And he's a leader that is going to be able to push us into the next generation with much higher hopes than the people who came before him. That's what I would like to become. And so, even though that might be a bit vague, I do have a bunch of things that go into that equation of like becoming that kind of person, from the kind of person I am today all the way to that person I will become. Like, I've decided I will become that kind of person, and so I won't change anything. I will live my life and I will push towards my goals as fast and as hard and as best I can right now, as my current self understands and knows and can do at his best capability. The point is, if you always do your best, you can always only bring your best to the table. Like, that's as simple as it is. And sometimes that means doing things when it feels uncomfortable, doing things when it feels like shit, doing things that aren't necessarily going to be making you happy or making you joyful or making you content. It's the kind of things that make you angry, make you sad, make you pissed off, make you annoyed, make you not necessarily happy about where you are right now, so that way you can summon that energy, you can actually move towards what it is you want. I talk a lot about this subject in all of the different videos I post every single day over the past month and a half or so. Like, we're closing in on a month and a half now that I've started like reposting videos on this channel. So if you want to see other types of videos on other different topics, feel free to ask me and check those out on the channel. And yeah, if there's a certain topic that you would like me to talk about in these videos, feel free to chuck that in the comments and say like, hey, I would really be interested in seeing what you think about this certain topic, and just talk about it, and then boom. So maybe I'll make a video on that like in the future, if you guys have some good ideas that I can just bounce up on and yeah, talk about. So yeah, sometimes it might be doing things that make you not necessarily super happy to do, something that's super fucking annoying, but is necessary to do in order to become that extra person in the future that you want to become. It means like, sometimes like I've decided that I'm going to be recording videos every single day for you guys. So that means that sometimes, even if it feels like shit, even if it's raining, even if it's windy, like right now it's like windy as fuck, it's cold, it feels like shit right now actually, but I don't really care, because like I'm here, I'm recording this video, I've decided I'm going to be recording this video. And it's the same for literally everything. I was going to the gym recently, and there was this guy. I was in the gym locker room, just finished my workout, and putting back my my change of clothes on, and he opened his bag and he started like being like, fuck, bro, and he forgot his gym shoes. So he was like, oh well, I'm gonna have to go home. And I just looked at him and I said, forgot your shoes, huh? And he said, yeah, dude, it sucks. I'm going to have to go home and can't work out today. And I said, just fucking do it without any shoes on. Who cares? What kind of exercise are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm just doing compound movements and that kind of stuff. And I said, okay, well, fucking you don't need any shoes for that. So just fucking do it without any shoes. And he said, yeah, you're right. And he got into the fucking gym. You know, that's the kind of thing you need to do. Like, it's like, you forgot your shoes, who gives a shit? You forgot your socks, who cares? You spilled water all over your fucking fresh fit of clothes. Like, who gives a shit, bro? It's just water. Like, you planned to go for a run today, but it's a fucking blizzard, or it's a fucking raining, or it's shit, the weather's bad. Go out there for a run anyway. Are you really gonna let the weather be, like, dictate who you are and who you are going to become? Like, what the fuck? No. Like, you're much better and much more than that. Like, you can get things done without other people reacting to what the fuck's happening in the world. Like, imagine your granddad dies tomorrow. Are you gonna stop everything and go to his funeral and stop doing anything and get sad and get depressed? Or are you going to do what it is you set out to do because that would make your granddad proud of you? Or are you going to pay your respects by doing nothing and by just standing there at the funeral, or are you going to pay respects by working extra hard to bring pride to his name? You get to choose that. You get to decide. So you get to decide for yourself, like, who is the character you're going to become, and who is the, like, what would the character that you want to become do in this scenario? What would he do? And then do that. It's as simple as that. And you can do a lot of things by just thinking about that single sentence. What would future me do? What would successful future me do? And then just do that. It's a very simple, like, mind trick to trick your mind into thinking, like, how can I do better? Okay, what would future successful me do? Do that. Boom. Easy. Super easy. And so I've used this, like, over the past couple years or so. Like, sure, the current me thinking about the solution might not be the best version of myself, but over the entirety of my life, I am today the culmination of the best version of myself. I'm the most physically fit I've ever been. I'm the most intelligent I've ever been. I'm the smartest. I'm the one that has the most amount of lessons, the most amount of experience, the most amount of skills, and the most amount of people I know in my network that I can take advantage of, that I can use to press on and to move forward and to help. So the person you are today needs to be the best version ever across your entire lifespan. And if it's not, then you've got work to do. And even if you are you the person that you would like to be? Or is there still something you can get done? Is there still somewhere that you can progress? Is there still people that you can talk to become better, to become more valuable, to increase your skills, to improve your capability as a man, to become more useful? That's all we really fucking want. At the end of the day, men just want to be useful to the people around them. So if you're not useful, like, what the fuck are you going to do? Like, if you're not useful to others around you, you're nothing. Like, actually, you're actually nothing. Like, you serve no purpose. If you serve no purpose, you serve no purpose. That's it. Very simple. So I want you to take some time today and understand and write out and define who you are going to become. Get crystal clear with who that is. Make a picture in your mind. Draw it on a fucking, I don't know, a piece of paper. Write down every single characteristic, every single trait, every single skill, every single thing that you can take action on so that you can start improving yourself on a day-to-day basis, so that you can become more valuable, more useful, and embody that purposefulness person that provides value to the people around them. It's very simple. It's very easy to create a list. Sit down. It might be annoying, like, for the first 5 minutes, but when you start getting into it, it's actually extremely easy. It's actually extremely simple. You just have to sit down and force yourself to do it. Your mind is extremely powerful. It's like a supercomputer. You can literally, if you can force and control your mind to do literally anything you want to do, if you're just mentally strong enough to do it, you can do it. If you can control your mind, you can literally do anything you want. But as someone might have said in the past, none of you can do it. Like, it seems nobody can do it. It seems nobody can control their mind. And so that is why society has led us to this point that we are today. Most of the things that have been created in history, most of the things that have been invented by inventors, by creators, by builders, by people that have built today's modern society, and all of the inventions like computers, internet, like an AC unit, like tools like a pickaxe, like a fucking, even to the most complicated tools like a drill, like a giant machine that you would use to mine down to the depths of the earth to get some precious minerals, to create a supercomputer, to create a I don't know, a nuclear factory or a nuclear power plant, or I don't fucking know. All of these things that we've created were created by people that have set aside their emotions, understood them, and worked on a purpose to progress, to move not only themselves but society as a whole forward. So you need to decide for yourself, what kind of man are you going to become? Are you going to be the kind of man that is just coursing through life doing the same old, or are you going to be remembered for having done something great? And in that case, you need to understand, what is that going to cost? What are you going to need to sacrifice to become that kind of man? What are you going to have to invest? What are you going to have to become? What are you going to have to do to become that person that actually is remembered for being great? It is as simple as that. And so, like I mentioned before, sit down with a piece of paper. Sit down with a piece of paper. Write everything down, bro. Write everything down that you want. And even if it's super selfish, who gives a shit? Like, if it's something worth fighting for that you think you want this, okay, well, fucking go work on it. Go do it. You are able to do so much more as a human than you actually are, like, think you're capable of. If you push yourself to the brink of breaking, to push past your current limitations, you can do so many things. It's incredible what the human mind can do when it is under control. And you need to discover what you can do for yourself. As soon as you get something hard done, you're going to understand how good and how far you can actually do things, how far you can push things, how many things you can build and create and invent. It's beautiful. And so what you're going to do is you're going to write everything down on a piece of paper, who you're going to become, everything else. Like, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to obtain? What riches do you want? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be a certain kind of person? Do you want to have a certain kind of status? Do you want to be known for certain things? Do you want to be a high value man? How much money do you want to make? Like, all of these things, even if it's not necessarily super important, if you want to have them, you can have them. You just, if another man can do it, you can too. That's what you need to remember. So yeah, appreciate all of you guys watching until the end of the video. As always, if you want me to talk about certain different topics, feel free to suggest them in the comments. I read every single comment, so if you want to have a discussion, I'm happy to have a discussion in the comments as well. I might create like a group, like a Discord chat group, maybe like in the future if we have a bunch of members on the channel. Like, if you want to like talk about certain different topics there, I will probably get that done in the future once we have more subscribers, more people on the channel. And yeah, if you want me to talk about certain different topics, feel free to suggest them in the comments. If you will have a different question, if you want some feedback on something, may it be business-wise, relationship-wise, getting more productive with your schedule, getting higher energy, becoming more physically strong in the gym, physically attractive, taking care of your grooming routine, becoming more disciplined, feel free to ask me any questions you want. I will answer them and I will help you out, because I would have loved to have that for myself when I was younger, having somebody to just tell me like, hey, you should be doing this way, you should be doing this that way, you should be doing it more. And yeah, you can become the best version of yourself. Like, yeah, basically just become the risk taker of your own bloodline. If you don't have anybody taking risks, you need to become the one who does if you want things to change. And yes, appreciate every single one of you guys being here. It means a lot seeing people watching these videos, even if it's not that many, even if I see the view count at 0 until the next 3 days. I don't really care. I'm just doing it out of the self-heartedness, like out of the selflessness of my heart. I want to give back. So thank you for watching. I wish you have a great day. It's time to get back to work. And since I post every single day, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.